Welcome everyone to the chess climb. We're live. Give me one sec. Streaming to Twitch now. Thank you for joining the stream. This is the chess climb, and today is going to be about playing the bed as white compared to playing e4 or d4 and playing Sicilian against e4. And although I'm yet to learn the theories, but then I'd like to play the Dutch. I'd like to play the Dutch against d4. I did like 10-15 minutes preparation. I just look at the short and sweet course by Grandmaster Simon Williams in conjunction with GM Raven on the bed. So I have a tiny little bit of knowledge about the bed. So we're gonna see, but I'm quite sure at the beginner and intermediate level, the bed is going to be a surprise weapon against most people, because I will be shocked if someone plays the bed against me, because if not until now, I have no idea of what to do against the bed. So let's go grab a game and see if we are going to get a win with the bed. The bed. So let's go. We're playing f4, and that's the bed. Wow. It seems our opponent knows exactly what they're doing. So I won't be shocked if... Well, I studied this and I never saw anything like knight to c6, but I know there's h3. What I looked at was f4, d5, a3, then c4. Sorry. What I look at was f4, d5, knight f3, then c4, then you go e3 in that line. But I'm completely out of book by now. So I know there's a general automatic here to just go e3, threatening to just pin the knight. So, well, black can definitely prevent that by playing. So I know when the bishop comes, we want to keep these pesky bishops away. So we definitely going to play h3 here. If black decides to move the bishop, we go immediately. So Mr. Zogan is playing quite alright. So he just joined 24 days ago, which is not bad. So I know there's b3 idea, and in the bed what I noticed was we always want to take on c6 to make sure we are doubling the pawn. So if that's something we are able to get, we should do it. And white is always planning to fianchetto the bishop on b2. So the knight is pinned, and that stops white from playing d5. Well, if there's kingside castles by black, we immediately go for the g4 push and put maximum pressure on this side of the board. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. This is road to 2200 ELO point, and I'm currently streaming on chess on Twitch and YouTube. So I think it's going to be opposite side attack. Black is definitely going to be trying to attack on the queen side while we go for the king side attack. as soon as we can. So well, d4 I missed. Well, if we take on c6, dc3, bishop take b7, and there is pawn takes b2. If we take the rooks, it takes the rook, making a new queen, and I don't think that works. So, and if you take ed4, knight takes d4, our bishop is attacked, so we have to play queen f3. Yeah, this is I think you are getting cooked in the bed. First time playing the bed and you are getting cooked. Well, our opponent seems to know what they are doing. We just have to, well, there's no need taking. We can definitely move the knight. So let's play knight e2, and after d3 there's always queen g3 threatening to checkmate. Well, it appears that we can't castle queen side if black moves the bishop, but I don't see a way for black to fully develop the bishop. I mean, we can castle now and play queen g3, or better still, we can just take on c6, but that's just helping black to get what they want. We can always drop back the bishop. Well, we do want to play g4 as soon as we can. We can't delay g4 further, so we need to play d4 as soon as we can. Black is finally thinking, maybe we are cooking, maybe not. Maybe we are getting cooked. Well, I knew that was what is gonna happen. So if rook d1, I'm thinking we can play rook d1. Rook d1 is a move, of course. Castling is a move. Well, I do want to connect the rook as soon as possible. So rook d1, knight d4, and there's e5, which is not good. So if rook d1, the queen has to move. Maybe queen e8. And finally, we can castle and develop our knight. So let's play rook d1. I mean, that looks interesting compared to just castling, because at the end of the day, white always has the option to castle. And our monster bishop is tearing down this line. Well, that is something I don't see coming. So queen b8 looks very, very weird. I don't know why black decided to play that, but let's take our time to thank you. Oh, you do like to play the bed. So I apologize, chess player lol. didn't see the charts as quickly as possible. How long have you been playing the bed? Well, this is my first time playing the bed. This is my first time playing the bed, and it seems I'm sort of liking this position I'm getting. It looks very sharp, and I must say that I may not pride myself as a very sharp player. So castling here looks like a safe move, but Queen G3 looks very, very promising. Well, I'm thinking of sacrificing the bishop. Bishop takes G7, but that doesn't do anything because bishop takes G7, king G7. After queen. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, okay, okay. I think the bishop on C5 doesn't look. It's undefended. So if we can get a check on the king, we can cook up something. Right. Oh wow, but for a few days now. So how long have you been playing chess? So let me just play queen G3. Well, we do want to castle, but then we are self-pinning the king with the E3 pawn. Well, we are getting low on time, and it's always good to leave more time. For 13 years, wow. I assume you play over the board as well. Do you play over the board chess? But instead, I like to... Oh, wow. So you have a modernized bird for yourself, which is you're playing F3 instead of F4. I'd like to see that. Oh, why not? Why don't you play OTB? Do you have any reason for that? So knight F5 I missed, which is very, very bad. Queen G4 would have been a lot more better. But to avoid losing too many material, if I play Queen F3, he definitely wants to take the pawn on E3, but bishop takes C6, and there's knight C2 check. Well, Queen G4 is tricky because after knight takes E3, we can always go for checkmate. So let's try this. Well, if bishop takes now, which is very, very possible, then what do we have after bishop takes? Well, I do want to defend. Oh, this is first lost now. Oh, this is not losing because there's queen e6 check. Wow, this is nice. Wow, that is actually our saving grace. That is actually nice. So we are threatening checkmate. I thought I was losing for a second. Tournaments are about an hour away. I don't really play OTP and few and far between. So you mainly play online for the past 13 years. You must be a very, very strong player. Well, black can play knight c2 check, but I don't think that does much, except going for, if knight c2, king f1, and there's knight e5 again check. So I think we are forced to go to I think king d1 is false, because after king f1 there's always knight e5, knight e3 check again, and we can't simply step into king g1 because of the discovery. So let's play king d1. If there's knight e3 check, we just simply go this side, and we are threatening to take now twice, getting an extra pawn. So it's equal material now, and the position looks very sharp. Oh really? Oh, lucky you. I only started playing chess when I got older, so, but it's been one of the best things that has ever happened to me. So what's your current rating? Do you enjoy playing on chess.com, or you prefer Lichess? I know that's a very tough seat to put you in. Well, black simply has no check here, and we are threatening all sort of stuffs. Well, he can always come and snatch the other pawn, but our attack with the bird is so sharp. You prefer Lichess. I think most people do. Well, okay, sorry, you prefer chess.com. I think anyone is fine. So have you been streaming all day? Why is your brain not working? You can as well see that mine is not working as well, because I just give back the pawn advantage, but not technically giving it back, because I really see what we can do. So I was predicting that white is going to do this, and with this, after queen f, f7, there's rook e7, then we need to take bishop. If bishop takes, then we take the knight. Okay, so let's play queen f7.
Words and words _ join the chess climb.
Thank you, words and words, for following. Thank you for joining the stream. So welcome to the stream. I'm currently trying out new opening, and I am playing the bird as white from now on, road to 2200 elo, and I'll be playing the Sicilian against e4. I only did just check the bird before coming online for like 10 minutes, and we are currently in a position that looks sharp, if I must say. So this is quite interesting. The knight on e3 looks trapped after g4. So let's play g4. Chess player, are you still there, or your brain finally stopped working? Words and words. How long have you been playing chess? Okay, just focusing on the game. Well, I hope I'm not. Well, I hope I'm not messing everything up. Well, we can always drop back the bishop. We can sacrifice the knight, which is bishop takes f6, g6, and we have queen is f6 check. The king has to move to g8, and what do we have apart from that? Only if there is a way. This look weird. Just for fun. Do you well, if it's for fun, that means you don't play over the board. Knight g2. Well, then let's see if bishop takes f6 sacrifice works. So our bishop couldn't come to c4 because of the knight on e3, but since the knight has left defense, so let's calculate. Bishop takes f6, g6, queen takes f6 check, king g8, and we have queen g5 check, picking up the bishop. So I think that works. Oh really? I'm currently playing for the chess club in my city. I play for the B team, and I must tell you something. I have played 4 games for the team, and I have lost all 4 in a disappointing manner. Well, I lost 3 in a very disappointing manner, but it's all learning curve. But there was one I could have really pushed harder, but I didn't, and I'm down 4-0 in my first OTB tournament. Well, words and words. I think we are back live now. I don't know if you guys can see me. Okay, thanks. So let me focus on the game before we lose on time. I sincerely apologize for that. I'm still trying to get the hang of thing. So this I miss. So if bishop takes g7, queen takes g7, and it appears that we just sacrificed the bishop for nothing. So we can always go back since we are up a pawn. But then it's not really up a pawn because queen takes f7, rook takes f7 check, and our f4 pawn is weak. But I think after queen takes f8, rook takes f8, you can always push f4. And we get into the end game finally. But I genuinely don't want to give up the bishop because it does look strong, but there's no way to save it. So let's just take and wait. Thank you, thank you for making me feel better about my bad play. After the game, I will tell you how my last game went. It was very disappointing, and I think that's the worst way possible anyone could have lost. So I feel like we should keep the well. We need to start playing fast now. I just need to start playing fast before I lose on time. So this is check, and we have to. So if king c2, there's knight e3 check, the king c3, there's bishop f6 check, but there's king, so there's no king c4, so you have to go king b5, and I think that is asking for too much. Well, let's do it. Well, I don't know what Mr. Zogan is doing. So if I move bishop, it's threatening rook e2, picking up our knight. And okay, we are down a lot of time. I'm genuinely lacking a way to well, I'm tracking knight e6 now to just pick up the bishop and save ourselves a lot of stress. There's always knight e3 now, check. Wow, I just blundered the knight. I completely missed that, to be honest. I think we are losing our first game with the bird for sure now. I just completely missed that. And even this, and even after rook h2, there's knight e1 check, picking up the bishop. I think this completely lost. I can't keep remembering the 2400. So king c3 would have been a lot better in the previous move. Well, I must say that streaming and talking is quite hard at the same time, so I'll finally get used to it. It appears that we are losing our first game with the bird. Chess player, I know I have disappointed you because you are quite a bird player yourself, so it's so sad for you to see the bird getting roasted. Hopefully, I'm able to restore the honor very soon. Yeah, it's going to be bullet now, and we are definitely getting smoked like a bird. So you are divorcing the bed because you just saw me get crushed. Well. We just have to move back again now. And
Saruman Jack joined the chess climb.
thank you so much, Jack. I'm getting crushed in the bed here. Well, this can be checkmate because the king can always run up forward. Are you a chess enthusiast yourself, Summer Jack? Well. It appears that. I mean, we can always safely check back and forth. So let's just take and hope that we can push this pawn. Please don't forget to follow the channel so that you get notified anytime I come live. Well. We can safely take this pawn and try and just only hope that we get to promote. Where b4 is coming, dislodging the bishop. So if he takes, then we have b6, you have c3. So let's just gamble. I mean, we are losing, but I'll just probably gamble. Well, it's still losing anyway. I probably just want to see. So let's resign. Let me copy this to and check where we went wrong. So words and word. Do you play on Lead Chess and chess.com? I think chess player said he likes to play on chess.com. So our opponent played well, even though we managed to hang our knights. It wasn't too bad. Even first time playing the bed, we were probably doing great. So oh wow, so that was a very good find. Wow, so here it's a completely winning game, and king d1 would have been better to avoid the knight going back to e3 with a check. Well, it appears that our opponent finds a move, then loses, then finds a move, then all of a sudden so I get better. I knew knight g2 was not good. Oh, you can't see the analysis. I'm genuinely sorry. I play on both, but I was good. Okay, so I should have switched the scene. So game review, I should have switched the scene. So let me just go back. Can you see it now? So can you see the analysis now? Okay, thank you. I think chess player left the stream. It's nice to have you, chess player. So apparently the bed isn't too bad. So for the first 10 moves we are doing great, even though we could have played better. Well, we can get excused for that because it's our first time playing the bed. So after this we have knight. I think bishop g3 was just a complete baseless move. Queen g4 would have been a lot better because bishop g3 just falls into knight f5. The board is smushed. Is it too wide? Is the board too wide, or the word smushed? I don't understand. So do you want me to make the board smaller? Okay, too wide. Okay, the A column is a bit cut off. Okay, so let me stretch it out so that you can see the evaluation bar. So one sec. This, unlock it. So all right, thank you so much, chess player lol, for joining the stream. I hope to see you some other time. Bon appetit, chess player. Thank you for following, chess player. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel. Is the board a lot better now? Words for words, words and word rather. And can you see the evaluation bar by the side? Okay, so let's go back to the analysis. So after this, the computer says knight g3 is better for white. Even queen g4, the other move I was considering, was a lot better as well. But after playing queen g3, I just completely missed that the knight can come to f4. If only I had calculated a little bit further, I should have seen that queen g3 is just a loss of a tempo and it attacks. It allows blacks all sort of initiative. Okay. So have you ever played the birds? Words and words. So queen g3 was our first mistake, and queen g4. f6 was a mistake for sure, but how could we have punished it? Just threatening to just trade here. And if we take, oh, we should have just taken with the knight. But after this, what happens? Okay, that seems to be a lot better. So it appears that our opponent finds a good move, then for some reason they stop and they find another good move. But it's okay. we all have our up and down. The French defense, then how do you cope with your bishop staying on the 8th, the bishop c8 just tearing at the blocked pawn structure? How do you cope with that? The Ruy Lopez. From your opening style, I can say probably you are a very positional chess player. So taking on e8 was a very good move, but taking the knight was apparently bad. We could have just retreated the bishop. Oh, fair enough. So around here, so this was just the final blunder that made us lose the game. But here, what could I have done better? So just stepping up with the king. But after this, so king c4 is just all right. Oh, so we have to move back. So after knight e3, do we just go back now? No. Oh, okay. So you play the Italian, you play the English, and you play the French. With the English, how do you deal with someone playing the reverse Sicilian against you in the English? So let's move on to the next game. It appears that we lost. Let's move to the next game. Our first bird, and we lost. Too bad. So let's move to the next game, and I will try my best to utilize the time better. Oh wow. So what's your rating on chess.com and Lichess? So d3, someone played this against me yesterday, then I just went to d4, hoping that we could transfer back into the Slav. Oh, the Smith-Murray Gambit. Oh wow. I must tell you that I rarely play any This is the cow. Well, after this game, we could probably have an unrated game if you don't mind. Hopefully, I don't get crushed. So this is the cow. Do you feel disrespected if someone plays the cow against you as white? So let's just decide to take up the center. If white refuse to develop, let's just take and develop knight f6 and bring out our bishop, and from there we'll figure out what to do. You punish it. Well, hopefully I'm able to do so as well. So white has decided to push a3, d3, b3 and a3 without any piece development. Well, I'm gonna try to punish it. Just castles. Life is good. Okay. Queen e2 threatening well, this is not. So g4, let me just slow down and make sure I'm not losing again. So what are the viable moves here? Definitely white is threatening to play g5. But after g5, he plays h4. Our knight is hanging. But after g5, plays knight d2. Then our bishop is stuck on c1. But if we push e5, so if we push e4, g5, and after knight d2, d4, d4, there's knight takes e4. There's no knight takes e4 because our queen picks it up. So let's try e4. Against the Italian, what do you against the Italian, what do you dread the most? For sure, I don't play the Italian, but when I used to do, people just play all sort of Berlin against me. Well, it appears that this is nothing to be feared, honestly. But we have no attack going, which sort of makes everything weird. So let's just take, I'll play knight e5, threatening to play knight e5 followed by bishop g4. Are you still in the stream? Words and words. I guess you are just concentrating on the game. So if I drop back the bishop, then he has f4. So if I take now, queen takes, bishop g4 check. So let me take, check. We have this check. So there is this. Oh, sometimes it can be really like that when you play against amateurs. Sorry you have to go through all that. So we can't move the knight, obviously. Am I losing this game again? So Let's play c5. If the bishop takes, we takes back. Yeah, I think that's a very huge problem playing gambit, is that long time it's not good, except some few gambits. Well, although I'm not really experienced to doing that. So after this, what do we do? So rook a d8 or rook f d8 is quite challenging. I think we should have something. I think I do have something. After rook d8, queen e5, well, I can always save the bishop by playing bishop back to e3. It's very tricky now. I'm definitely not interested in losing, dropping the second point in a row. So bishop e3, there's only one square for the queen, which is queen e4, and with queen e4 we have f4, and after f4, if gf3, the queen takes f3, but the bishop can take on b1, on b2, sorry, rather. Well, our opponent is quite playing fast, so they apparently know what they are doing, I must assume. So let me play bishop e3. So after f4, there's gf3 in percent, and after queen f6, queen takes f6, queen takes f6, f4, or if there's f4, then we play bishop g3, check. I mean, f4 does look interesting, honestly. I mean, we are still down a pawn, and we are dropping the second pawn on b2, b7. Well, we are threatening This I saw. So check. Well, there's actually queen here now. If the king steps on the light square, so this allows our knight to escape. So if knight c6, so let's say knight c6, queen e6 check. Well, queen e6 is not possible. So what happens after queen d5 check? King h8. Well, I do want to play knight f3, but after the trade, knight takes. If only the knight is not here. Well, I am this is, and our opponent is spending no time. So what I'm thinking is that if bishop f5, queen takes e5, bishop d3 check, there's king, so there's king g2, and I think we ran out of check in that line. Okay, so why not play rook e8, bishop takes e4, rook takes e4, if queen takes e4. Yeah, this doesn't look. I'm thinking, okay, what about bishop takes f4, ef4, rook takes e4 check, queen takes e4. We don't have any safe check. I'm thinking bishop f3, but knight takes f3. Well, we could play knight f3. If any of the knights take, then we play rook e8. But there's bishop e5. It's quite something I didn't consider when I was making those moves. Well, why not just save the knight? I think I'm just thinking too much. I think I'm just overthinking it because I don't want to like box my queen out of play. But why not just like take an extra move to just get my queen into play? So rook e8. Well, okay, this is a very good move. It appears that we're getting checkmated again. If only we had here to here, but we don't because of the bishop. So what I'm going to do is sacrifice the knight. If bishop takes, we takes, and if he takes here, I play rook f6. So let's just sacrifice the knight. Yeah, I think that was also lose the bishop. Yeah. I think this is much better now because he can't take. So we are in time to save the knight. So he has to defend rook g6. Apparently he doesn't have to. Well, he's going to we can always play rook d1. So I'm sure you are all entertained by my outrageous play. Well, I should have taken because this was hanging, isn't it? Well, we are threatening checkmate. I'm quite sure of that. You are threatening checkmate. Really, well, this is my third stream, and I must say that I'm improving slowly in talking through my thought process. So after rook d8, maybe white has to give a check now. Well, apparently it doesn't have to. So we can take, if it takes. Nice. So if we sack the rook, if queen takes, this rook is hanging. Okay, so if we sack the rook now, if queen takes, rook d2, check, but the bishop takes on d2. If we take the rook, it takes here. If it takes, He can't take because we always have this. So I guess we are always in time to save. I mean, we are down a bishop, so okay. So let me calculate. Rook takes g5. If queen g5, threatening this. If we go here, it takes with the bishop. If we take, there's rook, there's queen d8 check. And after queen f7, I don't think there's any more check. But we end up being down a bishop, a rook. So let's take honestly. Thank you, RD2. Well, we'll probably do a thorough analysis after the game. Dragonshin, am I pronouncing your name right? Sorry if I butchered it. Well, I think we are going to lose the knight, but the bishop cannot always move because there's always rook d2 threatening check. Well, it can safely take now because the king always have yeah, I don't think it can still safely take. So this is a double attack. So why not play this? And queen a3 coming next to dislodge the bishop from c3. So guys, I'm thinking of what content I'll be putting out. What I had in my mind is, trying new openings, which is the bird for white, the Sicilian, and the Dutch, as I go up the rating ladder. And I'll be streaming my study session as well. How I train opening using Chessable. This is not an advertisement for Chessable, but that's just what I use for studying opening. So I was thinking about streaming that as well. What do you think about it, Dragonshin? Well, let's just try to mop up and there's no way for us to, well, there's always queen f4 now, isn't it? Well, we can play queen f4. Threatening this check to pick up the bishop. So I think white needs to play to either move the king or prevent our queen coming to c2. So how long have you been playing chess, Dragonshin? Because you were able to like blitz out some line. Are you still in the chat, words and words? please guys, if you're liking the stream, don't forget to follow so that you can stay updated for the stream anytime I come live. Well, Jason Statham proves to know how to play chess, and up until now they have been bleating out every move possible. So that we predicted, but I'm thinking if queen h5 check, right, you definitely want to play queen h3. Okay. Okay, so after this, what happens? Well, we can always threaten to play queen d1 and threatening mate. Whoa, queen d1 is a very good move that I missed. Queen d1 is really good. Why did you stop? You shouldn't have stopped. Why did you do that? You should not have stopped. Well, I'm glad you found the channel. Hopefully I'm able to convince you and not to confuse you to come back to chess. So we are threatening mate on h1, and apparently there's few ways, there's little or no way for white to stop it, because if they stop it, we are definitely picking up the bishop and we regain the material balance. I think word for word left the chat. A year ago, you stopped in December. Yeah, man has to work for sure. You are correct about it. You're really correct. But you can always grab a game here and there. Well, I'm an adult improver. I found the game. I discovered the game on my own, 2021. And I tried it for a few months, then I stopped for a while. And after that, I had to. So why not trade? Should we trade, or we can safely pick up? So I'm thinking this, right? And if so, we have this, and I think we are winning words for words. I'm restoring the honor. I'm restoring the honor. So we're picking up everything now. I'm glad that Dragoshin did not witness me lose another game. I must say you are a man of luck. You definitely motivated the win. Yeah, that was an awesome comeback. I think White was not spending his time right, and he just allowed me get back into the game. So you were saying something, let's just go back. It's so sad Words and Word is not here to see the comeback. Hopefully he's going to watch the stream later and check it out. So let me switch to the game review board. This is the previous game that we lost, so let me just game review. So when are you planning to get back into chess, Dragoshin? So That was a terrible play. We play like an 1100 or 1000 rated. So let's start the review. I mean, that was a very, very terrible game. Within a couple weeks, okay, anytime you plan on comeback, I can always play a game or two with you if you don't mind. So let's go over the game. So I definitely knew that what White was doing is wrong, but we just allowed the attack on this side. Even that was pretty much all right. So this could have been more little. And after this, we just take. No, oh, so we take with the knight. And we have a more solid and stable position. Well, I can't wait to see you. Get back into chess. So we definitely missed that. And queen e2 was a mistake. And this was all right. Wow, that was a very nice sequence of moves. Apparently, we found some couple good moves, but we lost the trade. So after this wasn't necessary. We could have just drawn back. But I'm thinking f4, and our bishop is out. So how do we punish this? Do we just play bishop g6 now? No, because there's always f4. So we can always take. If takes, oh wow, okay. So that's why dropping back the bishop was a lot stronger. So after f4, so after bishop g3 check, king a, this is where we are. So we needed to save the bishop again. So we didn't do that. So c5 was a very good move. Yeah. I'm glad you saw that line. So c5 was a good move. I think Words and Words was he said c5 was a good move. Oh, so rook d1, and the queen is trapped. No, the queen is not trapped. So after this, what do we play? Oh, the knight is hanging. The knight is hanging. Do you see that, Dragon Chin? The knight on d2 is hanging. Oh, wow. Wow, so bishop g4 was good. And apparently we are doing all right. And queen a6 beats to be a very big mistake. Where is that? Why is it hanging? So let me go back and I will show you why it's hanging. So after c5, right? Yes, so the knight on d2 is hanging. So after c5, if queen takes d4, so admin we played rook here. So rook a d8. After queen e4, the knight here is hanging. We check. Oh, so it is not hanging. It is because after the rook Okay, sorry. So that was a mistake by me. So we needed to play this, and the queen is hanging at the end of the line. So did you see the complete line? So what we could have actually done was that after king takes, there's knight takes, check, and because our queen is staring at his queen, he can always decide to do this, but even that doesn't work because there's all sort of nasty check. Yeah, so did you see why that was a very good tactical awareness by Stockfish? Apparently, I didn't think too much about c5 because I thought for some reason that our position is pretty bad. But I'm just getting used to talking and playing chess, so hopefully with time I'm able to polish the skill. So f5. So c5 was bad, and what could have been the move? Oh, I saw knight g3, but I don't know what that does. Oh, because we can always take now, and we would have yeah, that was a very good tactic. Yeah. I didn't see it as well. Well, I didn't calculate it, so I didn't see it. So knight coming here would have been a lot more better instead of boxing in the queen. So while I was worried that I don't want to box my queen because I spent about 4 minutes here, and that could have been a lot better if I had just moved like this, and our queen has the room to herself, and rook e8 is always coming, and apparently so that was a mistake. So after this, so taking was bad because of knight here. But why? Show the tactic. Oh wow. So we are going to have a queen for 2 knights and a rook. There's no way I could have calculated 10 moves deep. So knight e4 was a mistake, and we were unable to punish it. So just pinning the knight would have been better because this is eventually dropping. But if it takes, do we just take here on here first, or we just go rook g6 first? So queen takes here was pretty alright. So he had moved the, oh, and there's this, right? Or no? Okay. Oh, nice. That was good. Thank you, Words and Words. I'm glad you did join the stream. Hopefully, I see you next time. Thanks for joining. Have a good day and a nice life. Bye. Okay. So rook d1 was a mistake. Well, so So this was the final mistake. Rook f2 was the final mistake, and we found 3 brilliant moves in a row. Oh, are you going as well, Dragunshin? It's nice to meet you. And from there, we collected everything. Oh, sorry, I was saying bye to words and words. So no, I wasn't going to shut off. I've only been streaming for an hour 26 minutes, so probably going to like grab 1 or 2 more games. So rook f1, where rook f1. So if you play rook f1 here, so you're saying if you play rook f1 here, right? So if you play rook f1 now, I don't think that works as well, but let me show you why that doesn't work. Okay, so let me just wait and calculate why it doesn't work. Well, we can always trade and be up in material. So at the top of my head, what is coming to my head is this, which I'm very sure the computer doesn't like it, but apparently the computer likes it. But I think there's always queen here check. Okay, so what I was thinking is just this, and we are up material. Thank you for following the stream, Shameless King. Yeah, so there's just knight c3 paralysis, so you got it now. So this is what comes to me at the top of my head, and probably the computer has something else, but that's just what I'm saying. Queen d1 is a mistake. I would have taken the bishop instead and be up material and just find a way to trade the queen and convert the position. So that's why rook f1 can be played. So that's why we couldn't. So that's why black couldn't play rook f1. So I think I'm very proud for finding rook d1, queen g4 check, and rook g1 to deflect the king and take the queen. Well, I did see from afar that rook d1 is going to be deadly, because white is not spending their time wisely, and they are always going to be skeptical about defending the bishop. Yeah, so I think the best thing black could have tried was this, but after this, what happens here? So after this, he has to play here, and at the end of the day, we could just, you know, trade everything and pick up the bishop. So I'm seeing something like let's say something like, I don't know if it's worked, but let's say something like this, for example, now. Oh, which is a great move. So let's say something like this, and we could have just take everything, I guess. Oh, so that was a miss. So after something like this, so the computer is suggesting that we just take and force here, because that helps us get our knight into play. Or even this is better. So even this is crushing because we get the queen. This is a very cool. This is a very cool game. This is a very cool game. Even though there was a lot of mistakes, but at the end, even though we were low on time, we were able to find some good moves. So let's head on to the next game now. I think I've been able to do justification to the analysis, even though that doesn't sound like a GM analysis. So let's move to the next game. Let's move to the next game. Hopefully, we are going to try the bird again. And this time around, I hope. Why are we getting black? Did you not play back the C? Just play the Sicilian. Your opponent is going to resign. So F4. This is our new opening. The bird. Now F3. Well, I don't understand what this does, but our opponent appears to be so these are just normal development moves. I'm not quite familiar with the bed yet, so I just want to develop normal and play d4, queen d2 and castle. So when the knight comes here, there's a thematic idea to always pin the knight and aim to doubles white pawn. So if we double the pawn, so let's say bishop takes c3, bc3, we castle king side, and we have our bishop staring down that line. One sec, I need to plug in my laptop because it's running out of power. Apologies for that. I think I dropped frame and we went offline. Apologies for that. We are live again now. Blank. I mean, this seems counterintuitive that we want to scope this diagonal and we are playing d4. Apparently, our bishop is out of play with that move. Well, we can take now and play this. This is a monster knight on e5. This is what you get for playing the bird. You cement your knight on e5. I'm not sure we are playing this correctly, but this is the second time I'm playing the bird. So we can just castle now and reroute the knight. But that doesn't do much. Because if black takes, So after bishop takes e5, fe5, the knight has to move. But I don't want us to double our pawn structure. So knight f4, and he pushes e5. He can't push e5, so knight f4. After knight f4, what is black's move? Well, we will just play a normal development move like queen f3, and after bishop takes e5, fe5, when the knight moves, we play bishop a3, and the bishop is lost. So let's play queen f3. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. h3 to play g4 and dislodge the knight. I mean, that doesn't look like a very good move to play. So rook d1, we always have the chance to solidify our position. So if I could draw back the knight to g4, trade it off, and have our queen on this scope, threatening queen h5 to play rook f3, rook h3, threatening mate. But it's always an idea that if the bishop trades itself, we have this queen a3 move. Okay. So we want to play e4, de4. If after cd we have rook takes d4, so cd, rook d4. Yes, there's always rook d4, so there's always idea of rook coming to h3, and we have queen h5. So that's a very beautiful idea to watch out for. Apparently, I think the stream was lagging and I dropped frame, so I just came back. Thanks for sticking around, Dragoshin. So this is a good way to prevent our idea. Our bishop on b3 is just not doing so much. And can we afford to play queen g5? If queen takes g5, fg5, the bishop can always drop back to e7, threatening to take, and we are forced to play h4. Well, I think queen f3, and we just play g4 and open up the position. You are okay. So what are your favorite opening? I think the stonewall attack is quite fierce. I'm not really scared of taking here. If I take here, check, and if the bishop defends, wow, this would have really been a good tactic if the queen was not protecting the bishop. Apparently I just kept dropping frame and the stream is ending. Apologies for that. Let me just fix this and see. So let's start rerouting the knight. I think this is quite a very clog. We do lack space, but I'm sure black doesn't have that much to do with the space. So if we could trade this light square bishop for our knight to finally develop here. So if we take rook here, well, that's not even viable. I mean, we could have traded on the last move and just move on. So black is on the verge of getting their knight trapped, their rook trapped, I meant. We do lack space. I think we are just being passive. We can always play a4 now and create a little bit of space for our bishop. We can play a4 to play bishop c3. So after bishop c3, knight takes here, rook takes, and bishop takes. And that is pretty bad. Well, it appears that we are losing. Well, I really played this badly. This is not how you play in the spirit of the bird. I need to create a luft for my king now. I need to play g4. At least if you are down a rook, we need to do something. I just wasted all my advantages. So this is a very Thank you for joining the stream. Apparently this is the second bird we are playing and we have played it pretty badly. Go. There's queen c2, threatening queen c8 check, picking up this pawn. And if they push e5 after queen c2 still, they have to take the lose. Well, I'm just blitzing out my move because we are down 2 pawn and I'm closing to losing hope in this position. So hopefully I pull my head back into the game and concentrate. Well, we are under all sort of checks now, and this is very, very dangerous. We would be lucky if we could get a perpetual. Queen c2, queen e1 check. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty bad. I completely missed that, but I'm just counting on this check. And if king goes here, then lacking the proper idea on what to do. If the king moves, I think there's this check, there's this dislodging the queen. So we need to give a check or we get checkmated. So apparently we can't do that because this comes. Well, if they give a check now, I think they are just picking up everything. So queen need to check, king h3, and we lost, I guess. Well. This is a lost battle. Drop frame again. So we are being a gentleman and allowing checkmate on the board. So that is the second bird we are losing. That should be checkmate. So queen g2 is checkmate, I guess. Well, black has decided to win in style. So we lost pretty badly. I think this will be our last game today. Well, it's a bad server and there's no way for us to review the game. So we didn't play the opening quite bad, honestly. Well, our opponent played really well. Our chance, we had our moment earlier, but we played it badly. So castle here is best. A6. And play bishop e2, just dropping back the bishop. Yeah, so I just kept disconnecting, so one more sec. So why do you put your just get bishop on b2 in this opening? It feels like wasting two moves because the switch is here. No. So well, I just started playing the bed. This is my second game in the bed, so I was thinking of doing something different, and this is a new structure to me. It's quite tactical. Jim Raven and Simon Williams used to be a very good bed player. I think Magnus Carlsen played it twice or four times as well. So it's not bad if you know everything about it. So I'm just slowly developing my intuition for the structures, and apart from that, trying to talk and calculate at the same time. As an adult improver and an intermediate player, it's not really going to be something easy at the start. So probably as time goes on, I'll be able to calculate and talk more. So let me check how we did. I mean, we didn't lose the game because of the opening. So no, it wasn't closed. So push. I think after bishop b2, playing d4 from me seems like a mistake. Yeah, so that was a mistake. So in the spirit of the bed, you want to put the bishop on b2, then you go castles. So if there's rook c8, you can always drop back the bishop to e2. So what I saw is that in the first line of the short and sweet course on Chessable, there's a recommendation that you always want to take these knights to double this pawn structure. But I think from now on, once there's a bishop on e2, and if not that you are going to like be up in material by trading the knight, I think it's always best to just drop the bishop back to e2. Except that you can take the knight on c6 to double the pawn structure. Yeah. So I mean, I played it, then I figured it out that black could just close the position. Yeah, so that's what happened. I shouldn't have played d4. So after bishop b5, I could have just castled straight. So if you play bishop d7, then I'll just castle a6. Then I can just draw back the bishop. So when white plays d5, then I go d4. And knight a7. And knight e5 to trade this bishop. So we've played 2 games in the bed and I've lost. I'll be trying to record a YouTube video and play it again and see if I'm gonna get a win. I'll be uploading this stream to YouTube, and hopefully people can see how I lost playing the bed badly, but very sure as time goes on, we're probably gonna pick a win in the bed as well. I genuinely appreciate you, Dragunshin, for sticking around, even though the stream was ending and coming back up. Do you play the bed yourself? So d4 wasn't so good, and there was no point trading the light square bishop. We could have just played a3 to play b4. So after a3, I was looking, so knight e4 with takes, and play knight d2. Wow, this is a very very sharp structure. Interesting. So f5. Yeah. So even d4 wasn't the big mistake. So after bishop takes c6, trading the light square bishop was really bad from me. And queen f3 doesn't seem to do much. I just felt like I needed to trade this knight, which there's no reason trading that. And I was so stuck on the notion that I want to play bishop a3 to always take the rook, instead of just finding something better to do. And I think one of the big mistake was after this, I should have just take here. Oh, even after rook c4, it should have been better to just do like this. Even though this is losing, I think, compared to what I did in the game, and so a3 should have been played. So cb3, and queen b6, and we play b4. Well, this is like 1.4 for. It's like 1.4 for black. So after rook takes c4, you can take knight d5. Let me check. So there's no knight d5 because this just loses the knight. No. Yeah, I think that loses the knight. After rook takes c4, knight d5. The knight is lost. So what the computer was suggesting that we should have done was no, the opponent is not listening to my move. Yes, I do play 1 versus 1. I'm sorry I wasn't monitoring the chat on YouTube. I was not monitoring the chat on YouTube. Apologies, Dragushin. Yeah. So I was thinking queen takes d5 check, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and I think this was a very good find. And knight g4 seems to be unnecessary. That I've just played knight e2, and we could have still be better here. This is just 0.6, and there's c4 anyway. But after bc4, there's no rook takes c4 because the knight takes on c4. So the maneuver, the knight rerouting to e2 was a little bit too late after c4. So if only we had not traded the knight, we could have safely played knight e2. I mean, this is just a free flow attack from black because we were just like moving with a tempo. So a3 would have been best. So knight e2 was a little bit late. So cb3 was correct, and rook c2 I saw, but bishop a1, then giving up this pawn, and I just played knight c3. But I mean, the rook is not trapped, so that doesn't look too great. But if only we would have played like that, we could have held on a little bit longer. So knight c3 should have been tried, and we just give up the rook like this. and queen h4. h3, bishop b4, and the rook is not trapped at the end of the line. So hopefully it all gets better. And after this, it was a free flow game for black. Thank you, Dragutin, for staying with me till the end of the stream. I've only just done 2 hours of streaming. Hopefully, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm still trying to, figure out a proper content structure, but for sure, I'm going to be doing the written climb, and thank you so much. I'll be looking forward to see you next time. So I don't mind if you have any content ideas you want to suggest, and I can see if that works as well. So I'm thinking of doing my study routine, which is it could be studying book, or for sure I am doing the opening study, which is just me going through our study openings on Chessable, or for people who are not interested on how to study openings on Lichess. And I was thinking of challenging followers as well, but I think that would only happen when there's quite a lot of people to challenge on stream, and maybe some bullet stream as well, because it all seems like people do like to watch bullet stream, maybe doing a bullet rating climb as well. But we have won 10, lost 8, and drew 1. We could have maybe winning streak if we had won the last game. So thank you guys for watching the stream. I'll be going. This is going to be the end of the stream now, and I'll be seeing you next time. Don't forget to follow the channel. It helps the algorithm for people to see. All right, Dragutin, I will see you some other time. Thanks for stopping by. See you later. Bye. Mm-hmm.